In the last video, we created a new project and got our character moving left and right. In this video, we're going to get a character jumping. Everybody, my name is Jason Boza and welcome to Make and Break Games. In order to get started, I want to break down the jump mechanic into the components we need to make it happen. First thing we're going to need is upward momentum to get us moving up. After that, we're going to need gravity to bring us back down. And we don't want to forget about the ground to jump off of and eventually land on. Now we have three major components to work towards in making this basic jump. And without any further delay, let's get right into it. Alright, so now we're back in GoDot. And from last time, we have a character moving left and right. Now we want to add a jump. So let's go to our script. And we know how to go left and right, so we know how to go up. So we just grab the same if statement, and now we're just checking for up. That's going to be our jump button. We then know we want to move on the y-axis. And since the jump is a little bit more powerful than just moving left and right, I want to just bring that up to something a lot higher. Let's test it out. Left, right, up, 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 up. Bye. Yep, he's gone. We're gonna need him to come back down. So to do that, we're gonna need to add gravity. The easiest way to do that is to have something like movement.y, and there's a couple ways to type it. The normal way, movement.y plus and then something like 1, and which would work, but the way I like to type it is plus equals, which is smaller. What that basically means is the exact same thing that I just deleted, movement.y plus 1, but it's just a little more shorthand. Now this won't work too well because this variable is being created right up here. What we're basically saying is add 1, do whatever depending on what button you pressed, and then apply it. So if we don't do anything, it'll add 1, but it will add 1 to 0. So we're going to be moving 1 unit of movement per frame. And that's not very good for us. Let's see what that even looks like. You can barely see it moving. So that's not really what we want. What we want is to have continuous dropping motion at a steady rate, and something that we can kind of add to. Because if we add too much to it, it'll drop fine, but it kind of affects our jump in a weird way. Let's try 500. See what that feels like. Doesn't really give you much room for acceleration or anything like that. So what we want to do instead is move this variable above, out of the function, and preferably above the rest of the functions, and turn it into a member variable. Now it's always being saved, and instead of constantly moving or resetting it to 0 and then also getting deleted every time, we're gonna just add to 1 and add 1 to the y-axis every frame, making it feel a little bit better. Let me show you. See how it speeds up as it goes down? That's what we're basically looking for. We're looking for a little bit of that acceleration when we're jumping or when we're falling. And that acceleration is also going to help us have a better jump in general. But now we have another problem. When you're falling, you don't stop falling, and that's because we don't have a platform. That's a third major component, and now we just need to bring it to life. So let's add a node and add a static mesh or a static body 2D. It's complaining that it doesn't have a collision box. We're gonna fix that right away. Add a collision box. Collision shape 2D. Now what it's complaining about? A shape must be provided. Well, if we go to the properties, it gives us a list of shapes to use. So we want to use a rectangle shape. Now we have a rectangle shape. Problem is, oh, by the way, don't forget to lock your parent node so you can move all of them. Problem is, right now you won't be able to see it, and that's kind of just weird. So let's give it a something, yeah, color rect, something to just look at. So if you just play it right now, you'll see this block, and that's perfect. Except we want to make sure, oh, you gotta unlock it. So you unlock it. We want to make sure that it's somewhat covering the actual shape. If you move this collision shape, actually move the color rect over. Yeah, there we go. Now we can see the collision and match the shape as best we can. Alright, I think that came out rather well. Let's lock our image again. Now we can place it under, and just to give it more length, let's go ahead and go to transform, and on the scale we want to just make it bigger. So let's try 20. Let's make it a little bigger than that. 25, 27? 27 is too much. Let's just do 26. 26 just covers it in a little bit more. That's fine. That's at the bottom of the screen. It's fine. And let's test it out. Oh, and we forgot to add a collision shape to our character. So he's gonna need one too. So collision shape. There you go. He now has a collision shape. Can you see it? No, you can't. You still have to add a shape to it. Give it a block or square, and let's just fill up. Try to match the image as best we can. There we go. So now if we test, boom. Now we have character moving left and right on a block with gravity and the ability to jump. Now, if you're testing this along with me, you're probably noticing that we can't stop moving left or right. We're just sliding forever. There's a reason for that. Let's go back to our script. And now we gotta think about, why are we moving left and right indefinitely? Well, the reason is because we moved this variable out of the function. When it was part of the function, it was being reset to 0 every frame. So at every frame, we start off at 0, add 200 or subtract 200 to the x-axis, and apply that movement to our move and slide function. And then when we're done, that the movement variable was destroyed. We started again, it was created again, and it started at 0. So basically it was starting at 0 every time. Since we're adding 1, or since we need to add 1 every frame, we don't want to bring it back and then basically lose that work, because then it'll end up looking kind of weird. Instead, we just want to reset our x-axis so we don't have that problem anymore. Ideally, we just want to do it after we move, and we can just forget about it after that. So after we move, we're gonna set our x-axis back to 0 so we don't move so much. Let's test it out. So now we press left and we stop. Just tapping it, and then we have basically the behavior that we had when we first started today. And now we still can jump. Although it's a little bit of a moonwalky jump,
And the other problem we have is we can jump forever. So there are a few things we can do to fix that, but we'll talk about that later.
Now we got our character jumping, and if you're like me, you probably don't like the way it feels currently. Don't worry, in the next video we're going to go over the steps that we need to take in order to make our character jump smoothly and closer to actual gameplay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one.